What if the closing minutes of Outlander's Season 7 finale didn't just give us another cliffhanger, but delivered the single most puzzling mystery Claire Fraser has ever faced? It begins with a child's voice drifting through the air, singing a cheerful little tune that should be impossible for her to know. A song that wouldn't even exist in her time. Yet for Claire, it's more than an oddity. It's a sound that instantly drags her back to the most devastating loss of her life. The realization hits like a blow, opening the door to questions she never thought she'd ask again, questions that could change everything we believe about her family and her past. The episode sets it up in the most unexpected way. William, while on his journey, rescues a young girl named Fanny and brings her into Jamie and Claire's care. On the surface, it's just an act of kindness. But for Claire, Fanny's arrival stirs something deep, because during their first real conversation, Claire learns that Fanny's late mother's name was Faith. That single word shatters the calm she's tried to build for years. Faith was also the name of her own stillborn daughter, the tiny baby she lost back in Season 2, in one of the most heartbreaking moments of her life. It's a coincidence that feels too sharp, too personal, to be easily brushed aside, and it leaves Claire with an unease she can't quite shake. But the true shock comes later. As the Frasers are preparing to leave, Fanny skips along, her voice light and carefree, singing, "I do like to be beside the seaside." To anyone else, it might be nothing, just a cheerful melody. But to Claire, the sound is electric. She recognizes it instantly. It's the exact song she once sang to her baby Faith, the lullaby etched into her memory with bittersweet permanence. The problem? That song wouldn't even be written until the 20th century, long after the time they're living in. Claire asks Fanny where she learned it, and the girl replies simply, "My mother used to sing it to me." Those words hit like a thunderclap. Claire can feel her heart racing because if Fanny's mother sang it and Fanny's mother's name was Faith, then could her baby somehow have survived? Could Fanny be her granddaughter? In any ordinary world, the idea would be dismissed immediately. But this is Outlander, a place where the impossible often finds a way to become real. Claire's mind spins with possibilities. She even considers whether someone like Master Raymond might have intervened, secretly saving Faith and raising her away from Claire, allowing her to grow up, have children, and pass along the very lullaby Claire once sang. Yet the moment she starts untangling the timeline and the practicalities, the theory begins to feel knotted and improbable. That's when another thread comes into play. One not from the main story, but from the Outlander prequel, Blood of My Blood. In that series, we see Julia traveling with Henry while heavily pregnant. The baby's gender hasn't been revealed yet, but imagine if it's a girl, and Julia names her Faith. That Faith could grow up, have a daughter of her own, and that daughter could be Fanny. In that case, Fanny wouldn't be Claire's granddaughter at all. She'd be her niece. And the song? That could simply be a treasured lullaby passed down through generations, starting with Claire's own mother, who taught it to her. Claire sang it to her Faith, Julia could have sung it to hers, and eventually, it would reach little Fanny. In that version of events, there's no need for a miraculous time travel rescue, just a powerful family tradition echoing through time. But even that explanation leaves the door open for a much larger twist, one that could send shockwaves through the entire Fraser story. For as long as Claire can remember, she's believed that her parents died in a car crash. That's the version of events she was told. But what if that was never the truth? What if her parents had actually gone through the stones themselves and ended up living in the past? What if they'd walked the same paths as Ellen and Brian Fraser, maybe even crossing into the family's orbit without anyone realizing the connection? It's possible that Claire has spent her entire life completely unaware that her parents were living just beyond her reach. And if that's true, Season 8 could bring an extraordinary revelation. Her parents could still be alive, perhaps turning up at Fraser's Ridge after all these years, or leaving behind letters that tell the story of how they survived, where they went, and how they always held on to the hope of seeing her again. All of this leads to one enormous, unshakable question. What is the truth behind the strange and haunting Faith-Fanny connection? Is it simply the work of fate weaving two lives together in a strange mirror image? Is it a hidden family link waiting to be uncovered? Or is there something far stranger at play, something only the world of Outlander could make possible? One thing is certain, the answers are going to be more surprising than anyone can predict, And when season 8 arrives, it might just turn everything we think we know upside down, in a way that only Outlander can.